So in the previous lecture, what we did was we inserted elements in the starting and in the end. Now how we inserted element at the end, let's talk about that. So what we did here was we made a new node cur which first pointed towards head, and we traverse to the last node through this loop, right? And the last node's uh, pointer, instead of pointing towards null, we pointed it towards temp where we stored the variable. Alright, and then we just simply returned head. Right. Now in this video we are going to look at how to delete elements from the beginning and from the end of a linked list. Alright, so yeah. So if we have to do this, let's make it a little bit. Yeah, our input element is 10, 20, 30, 40. Our output is 20, 30, 40. That means we deleted the first element, that is 10, right? Now tell me how you can like do that. You like take a few minutes, think of the approach and tell me. And you can like after that resume this video, so you might understand like how to exactly do that. Alright. Okay. Okay. So if we delete this number, like simply you can delete it, but then you cannot like have the other linked list, right? Did you understand what I just tried to say right here? Suppose this was a linked list, right? Yes. Now if I delete this element, there would be no head and our array would simply be like this. Our linked list would look like this, but we won't be having any head right here. So how to like solve this question exactly? So for this, what you can do is you can shift your head from, wait a minute, yeah, from here to here. Initially head was pointing here, but now it is pointing here, right? You can easily do that. Okay, well, let's try and write the code so you will understand better like what we have to do here. Right. Let's yeah, we'll just erase that data. Let's do cout before deletion in alright, let's write before deleting the first element. We will simply display. Okay, now what we are going to do here is we are just going to write cout head as delete b head cout after deleting is going to write this display head again. Now let's write the code of node star display, right? Okay, there are few things. So there are corner cases. Suppose if head is null, what are you going to do? Return null. And if head next is equal to null, then also it is going to return because we are going to delete the head, then there will no element left in the linked list, so answer will be null. Another thing which you can do here is your new head becomes head next, right? And you will simply do what? Return head. Alright. Well, this is maybe. Now let's try and run this code. See, before deleting the first element, our array would look like this, 10, 20, 30, 40, but after deleting it looks like this. And this is our desired output. Okay. Now suppose we have to delete the element in the end. If input looks like 10, 20, 30, 40, our output should look like 10, 20, 30. So how to do this question, like this thing? So what you can do is, always if you have to do something in the end, you should be having access of this element, like second last or last. Alright, so if we access this element and if we change its next address, which is pointing here, and instead of here, if it points towards null, we would get a solution, right? Let's try and run that. What we did was, yeah, so we just simply say out deleting the last element, right? It is like, say out before deleting the last element, we'll simply display head, right? And we'll delete the last element through this function delete end, and let's say out after deleting, now we'll display head. Right. Now let's make function node star delete e. Alright, so how you do that? So you'll have a new node called curve, should be having the same address as head, and I'm going to write while curve next not equal to null. So we have curve is equal to curve next. So after this loop, what would be curve pointing to? Curve would be pointing to element whose curve would be pointing to element whose next element would be null. Am I right? So that if we look at 30, its next element is null. Its curve would be pointing towards 30. Is that right? Yes. Now since we have 30, we just have to change its next to null. So we'll just write curve next is equal to null, right? And this we are going to simply return head. Now let's try and run this code. Let's see this thing. Yeah, let's try and run this code. See, before deleting the last element, like our linked list was this 10, 20, 30, 40, but after deleting it's 10, 20, 30, and the last element is deleted, right? And that is our thread output. So I hope you learned the concept of how to delete elements from a linked list, right? And I guess, yeah, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.